Yes. hmm there is some responsibility to protect children's rights. And for every cop that thinks I'm a piece of shit for wanting their rights enforced, I just wanted you to understand that they have the legal right to sue you. Now, as a father, I have the responsibility, to protect the rights of my sons. And when you issue a court order where they had to have their parent there to consent, yes, to the issuance because they were 13 years old, you have an obligation to remove it. Now, Heidi's signature is not on that protection order. Yes, that means there wasn't a parent there. Now, the court took it upon themselves, yes, to issue that using forgery and fraud. Yeah. And then when I informed you of it, yeah, you decided to fabricate evidence against me. Yes. Where you alleged that I was involved in some crimes. But I wasn't. Now, I would think that as a parent, yes, that the court should seriously consider what you've done because I'm going to sue you, and then they're going to sue you, yes. And then there could be numerous other individuals that are going to sue you. These children rights, yeah, where you say, well, we know what's in the best interest of a child. It is not in the best interest of a child to not require their parent to appear in court. Now, exactly how many times did you talk to any of my sons? Yes. And then when was it that they consented to be included in the protection order? Yes. When they had the legal right to have their own. Well, I'm going to want you to remove it. And then I'm going to want to speak to them about why the court, yes, had decided to issue a protection order, yes, where you didn't protect the rights of the minors named. Yeah. Now, there is this issue, yes, of the international conventions. Oh. See, the international community would say that children do have rights. Yeah. And since our marriage certificate was issued from the United Nations, yes, not protecting the rights of children, yes, because you didn't require their mother to appear in court, yes, and you didn't have them appear in court to ask them, do you want to be included as a protected person at the age of 13? Happens to violate numerous international conventions. Now, let's say I got to use the United Nations. I'm going to sue you for violating the rights of children, not just in this state, quite possibly every state, yes, in the United States, yes, but in the International Criminal Court for violating the rights of children, yes. Now, these international conventions, the International Convention for the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance, yeah. Effectively, you disappeared my sons. Pooch, I don't know where they're at. But they had the right on July 31st of 2015 to not be included in the protection order. At least Zachary did too. And you had an obligation to require his appearance in court to ask him if he wanted to be a protected person. You decided to disappear my sons because they're not in my custody. Now, this court has taken it upon themselves to violate the international conventions. Oh, and it seemed like you just didn't care about children because, in your mind, as long as you continue to hold them hostage, I can't sue you. See, I'm that homeless, indigent pauper. Yes, that can't get his rights enforced because I can't get children's rights enforced. Now, it could be today that you would realize, yes, the necessity of enforcing children's rights. Do you have an obligation as a court? Yes, to enforce the rights of children. Now, I think you do. As soon as you have the knowledge of what the law says. I sent you an email last night. Oh. Now, let's see. Corruption, bribery, kidnapping, child abuse. Yes. They're in the wrong grades. Yes, child neglect. You did not protect their rights as children when they were 13. Ouch. When each of them turned 13 over the last 3.5 years, you are technically violating three of them. Well, obviously, you're going to have to ask them, do you want to be a protected person in a protection order? Did the court take it upon themselves to notify law enforcement of their disappearance? Well, I think, yes, to make sure of protecting the rights of the minor named. Yeah, you would have to ask Zachary, do you want to be considered a protected person in the protection order that was issued? Yes, when you were 13 years old, where there was the forgery of the ex officio superior court clerk? Yes. Where there was the forgery of the court commissioner? Yes. Did you want to continue to be known as a protected person?